Welcome to an introduction to the Splunk Services repository. This is Ryan Faircloth. I'm one of the security team members that helps to maintain the repository and the content. Our purpose for this little session is to teach you how to create a quick account here, log in, and begin exploring the types of content and resources that are available for you. The Services repository is a tool available for Splunkers partners and customers to guide an implementation towards maximum success based on our field experiences. Customers that are part of certain select groups are able to access the content directly, and Splunkers and partners are able to export content and share that with customers as needed as PDF or Word documents. What are we using it for today? Security and other types of use cases that will be added as interested parties contribute in the future. Mapping of data sources to use cases themselves. So when a customer asks you questions like, what can I do with firewall data? You have a tool available to help you understand and share what successful things people have done in the past. And also negatives. We also have some references and maintenance of things that you probably do not want to pursue so that bad ideas don't get recirculated. Mapping of use cases to motivations, which helps to show the value that Splunk provides our customers. So when a use case is implemented, what are the types of problems that that use case solves, explaining that kind of value proposition to management, as well as understanding of which technologies like Cisco ASAs for firewall, Windows, Checkpoint, etc., which technologies are known to contribute successfully to particular types of data sources that can be used for use cases, because not all firewalls are created equal, for example. And then some guidance, best known practices for specific technology, field guides, and field and enhanced Splunk TAs are just some of the things that we're tracking and maintaining here. So to get started, you just need to browse to this particular website, which is splservices.atlassian.net. And you're going to see a sign up screen. Click sign up as the red arrow indicates below. Do use your Splunk email address and you will automatically be approved for access. Do use your full name, as Splunkers will be able to locate you here and involve you in content that's applicable to you. And do use a secure password, preferably managed by a strong password management tool like a LastPass or Dashlane, etc. Whichever tool you use, please don't use a password like Splunk123#. We are a security company. Thank you. You're going to need to verify your account, so click that verification email and then go find the link and click on it as well. It is safe, we think, and that is necessary. And then go on and browse to the website. So browsing SPL services is pretty easy. And welcome to the portal home. The portal page is a page that we will be adding to and enhancing over time that helps you to navigate the repository. There's a few main areas of content that you're going to be interested in. The repository, or security kit as many people know it, is where we track and maintain most of the knowledge in the repository today. The use case center covers a few key areas, all market shared information like data sources, which are types of data. A data source, for example, might be a firewall, network communication, or authentication data. Providing technologies which let us identify which technologies can support a particular type of data. Then our security adoption motivations, which are the primary reasons why use cases would be valuable to customers. Risk mitigation perspectives, the type of risk mitigation use cases help with, the security use cases themselves, and a quick start list, or the types of use cases that low maturity or new to Splunk security customers should focus on. And then over time, we will continue to invest in and evolve our IT operational use cases. When you visit the page often, you'll see what we've updated lately, which if you visit regularly, this is going to be fairly interesting. And we also have some more detailed introductions to the repository. I'm going to let you come back and visit this later. This particular page has a more detailed explanation of every aspect of the repository and a more detailed video on what our thinking and methodology is when understanding the use cases. But for today, I'm going to show you directly a couple of quick things that will get you interested and show you some value. So often we're going to have customers that ask us for what use cases should we start with. And we've created a list of things called the essentials. The essentials are the use cases that can very quickly show value in Splunk and enterprise security, broken down by the type of data that is required for the use case. So for example, network communication data can support a threat activity use case, which is use case ESS, meaning that this is an out-of-box use case. Use case for high volume threat activity, high volume of traffic. And we also have use cases that are created and maintained by the field. For example, detection of prohibited application protocols, things that most customers would say they should never see, like IRC or FTP or Gopher. And failing communication on the firewall, which is often an indication of either a severely misconfigured system or malware trying to communicate with a command and control node that's not particularly advanced or just not well implemented. Each one of our use cases is able to navigate you to the type of data that we need. Example, if we have a host with multiple infections, what kind of malware data do we need? And in that case, we need to know that the endpoint malware has the ability to tell us that an infection occurred by signature, which surprisingly not all anti-malware software is able to create logs for with Splunk. So from the use case, we get a description of the use case itself, and we get coding information that helps you to understand what this use case means to the customer in terms of complication. This is essential, so it's easy for the customer to implement. And it's going to be well recognized, and it's high fidelity and low frequency. So going to our data sources, we're able to see the providing technologies, which are the known successful antivirus products that will work with this particular use case. And so far, we've cataloged McAfee, Sophos, and Semantic Endpoint. The important thing here is that if an antivirus product, in this case, say for example, Kaspersky does have a valid TA to work with Splunk, that doesn't mean that that will not work. It just means that we have not cataloged the exact matches of what that particular product your customer has is in relation to the success stories that we have in enterprise security. So that is an opportunity for us to get contributions from the field, creating a new technology type, and from that technology type providing detailed knowledge of the data sources and events that are going to be supported, allowing all of us to understand which use cases we can expect and not expect to work for customers before we plow through with a successful an implementation attempt. So that each additional providing technology page in the repository contains information that will help you be successful in implementation with enterprise security or Splunk core in general. Take, for example, the Microsoft Windows page. Microsoft Windows is actually a fairly complicated data source to onboard. There's a number of TAs and types of data involved. So when we look at this page, we see a few things. First, we see each one of the TA IDs that's involved. So TA ID being the application folder that you would expect to see in Etsy apps. The URL that you can download the Splunk-based version or the officially supported version of that TA. And you see our splservices repository, which is where we keep local patch things that would go in local or patches for the TA and deployment guidance as well. So you've seen the Splunk-based page already by now with Splunk, and I will show you the Bitbucket repository. Clicking on the repository link, you see a fairly standard routine Bitbucket search or Bitbucket cover page. We'll navigate into branch, go to master because we should almost always be pulling from master. The layout is such that you would see immediately where code will go, so SRC in this case. Because this is a TA, it would go to the deployment server. There is a server class pattern for deploying the TA to the environment, and then there's deployment apps, which is where you will find the latest version of the TA that we have field experience deploying. The TAs are customized as needed to reflect deployment best practices. So for example, indexes.conf and inputs.conf, except for modular input definitions, are removed to ensure that we don't accidentally turn on Windows inputs on a Unix or Linux indexer, for example. And then we have local patches which address various issues or problems in the TA as it relates to using them with enterprise security. So for example, in our props.conf, there's additional seg commands that resolve issues with improperly formatted data affecting SIM compliance in the Windows TA, fixed event types, and tags in this particular case. So we would want to deploy these 3 additional files along with the standard Splunk-based TA, which is what's included in this folder. And then there's additional configuration for deployment best practices. So for example, with the Windows TA, which inputs should be turned on and where should they be turned on? A level 0 meaning deployed to all server and all Windows environments. We would want the security event log at minimum from all servers, which when hostmon rules we need to make enterprise security work well and enable additional use cases. And then we've also developed additional patterns for more specific environments. So a level 1 in this case is a server we might care more about application data, performance data that we might need for additional use cases. Active Directory monitoring and DHCP servers are examples of specific additional patterns that we consider. So each one of these TAs either has, if we know a Bitbucket repository, or one can be made available for you to contribute additional guidance that the team can use. So thank you for your time and have a nice day.